Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is the 16th of April, and in this educational video there is no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is for educational purposes only. And yesterday in US was a fairly calm day, so not much movements in most the big stocks. We have here the semiconductor index, or actually the ICS semiconductor ETF that we are using. It has bounced 50% of the last leg down here and to around 177.5, where it got rejected. But key resistance will be around 185.56, which is just around the 61.8 retracement of this leg down there. So if we do get a close above that level, well, then there could be a further bounce higher towards 200, but it really needs to get back above 266 to really establish a bullish trend. But a short-term bullish trend could be seen if it closes above that. Otherwise, it could drift lower. And if it takes out the lows here at 148.30, well, then the lows here from, let's see, where is it actually? There we are, 144.40 could be under pressure. The S&P 500 also same picture as yesterday, more or less. The death cross here between the 55 and the 200 moving average is coming closer. It's not there yet. Let's see about it, and the 200 still needs to be declining for that to materialize, and to totally turn around the bearish trend. First of all, it needs to close this little gap here, 5,522. If it can do that, then the key will be 5,785, and then cancel this top and reversal pattern. If it starts drifting lower, then it could test the minus support here just around 5,515. Taking out that, then we are likely to see a new low. We have the pre-market, it's actually being traded lower. As we can see here, it's actually drifting lower. So there is a big chance or risk, if you will, that market will drift lower in the coming days and weeks. But let's see about that. On the Nasdaq 100, we have 19,234. If it can close above that, well, then there's potential up to 20,000, maybe 20,290. And here we have the resistance at 22,292. That would be key. But also here, pre-market, we are almost down 2%. Here, as you can see, here's the US Nasdaq 100 CFD based on the future. And it is sliding lower and needs to get back about 19,232. And also more or less the same picture out Dow Jones. There we are. It needs to close this gap to 40,413 to establish a bullish trend, but also here we are a little bit lower, of only 0.5% though. European markets, the EuroStoxx 50 has a fairly good day yesterday. It will be key. Can it close above 4,988? If it can do that, well, then there's potential up to possibly, excuse me, the 100 moving average. We have 200 here that will give a little bit of resistance, of course. And then we have 5,143, which is the 61.8 retracement, and just around the 100 where there'll be some resistance, but the strong one is up here, 5,230. Pre-market here, very shortly, we can see it's setting back also a little bit. So let's see how this will play out today. Resistance 5,068 that should be observed. DAX index very close to test the resistance here at 21,302. That is really a key resistance. And close above that, then we could be looking at 22,000. But also here, pre-market, we are a little bit lower, about almost 1% lower. And this one is obsolete. So let's see if it will slide lower in the coming days. 21,525 on the GER 40 CFD. And let's just touch upon Seng for a bit. Hang Seng almost 2.5% lower this morning. Got up to around 21,500, just above the 38.2 retracement, and then has been knocked down. So if it starts sliding lower and closer below 22,264, then we could see a push even lower. But if it can take out the peak from yesterday, then maybe we could establish something of a short-term bullish trend towards 22, maybe 22,500. Moving on to euro dollar. Euro dollar bounced off the minor support at a 112.75. If it takes out 114.85, then there's potential up to 117. I still believe we are in a correction mode. So if it takes out the lows from yesterday at 112.60, then we could see a correction down to 111, maybe a little bit lower. Cable here is sterling dollar. There we are, slowly pushing higher towards 134. It seems to be on this way. The RSI is not that convenient. Yes, we are in a positive sentiment, but there is a slight divergence. So it is struggling a little bit. So it will be a battle between this pair and the euro sterling here. But there should be room up to 134 at least on sterling dollar. Here we have euro sterling correction just above a minor support at 85.19 at the 50% correction level of this uptrend here. If it takes out that, well, then we're looking at 84.70, 84.5, maybe dipping down to this level, and then we will see a bounce, I'm sure. It's not an advice. There's nothing certainties in this. If it starts pushing higher here, back above 86.25, then I think we'll see a new high towards 87.60 and 88. Dollar yen, excuse me. Dollar yen once again testing 142.20 support this morning. I think it will break through it, as I mentioned, the past few days, because the really strong one is down here 140.25 and 137, where we have some even stronger support with the 200 weekly moving average coming up. You can see here on the weekly on the right side. So I think we'll see it push lower eventually. It's just a question of time, I believe. Again, this is not advice or anything. We have a euro yen still caught in this range here, so I will jump right next to the next one. Aussie yen didn't get all the way up to the 61.8 retracement and 91.77. It can still do it, but it seems like it's already turning sour. So I think if it takes slides back below 89.50, then I think downtrend will resume, and it will be further confirmed if it takes out 88.25 down here. Then I think we'll see another push to test the strong support here at 86. Sterling yen resistance at 189.85, could spike above, but I think we are about to push lower. Negative sentiment on the RSI, no divergence as it seems, indicating lower levels. We can also see all the daily moving averages are declining, kind of pushing it lower, and that is a sign of we are in a bearish trend. We can also see that on the weekly, lower low, lower high, lower low, and so on. But if it takes out 190, then we could see a push up to 191.55, which is the 61.8 retracement. Aussie dollar, massive bounce that took it up just a few pips from this peak here at 63.90, just a bit below 63.90. It needs to take out that 63.90 for a further upside to 65.5. It was a very strong bounce. Otherwise, it could slide lower, but I think it will actually push higher, because you can see 55 moving average turning around here. But we need the RSI to close above the 60 threshold to support that. So maybe we could see a little bit of setback, and then we could see the next push higher. But if it moves back below 62.5, then I will likely to resume downtrend. Dollar Canada trying to bounce a little bit from the 138.25, 138.20 support. should be able to at least bounce up to the 38.2 retracement at 140.50, 52, but could bounce all the way up to the 61 at 142, or just below 142 here. If it takes out the 138, the lows here from a couple of days ago, then I think we'll see it pushing down, further down to 136.5. Sterling Canada coming up here has bounced within very few pips from the 786 retracement at 185.11. RSI just below the 60 threshold. If it closes above, then I think we will see Sterling Canada to take out the higher levels here. And we can always debate, should it be taken from here or should it be measured from here? And then we can add the 61.8 retracement. And that's of course a debate. We can see that's where we are trading at the moment. We had a little bit of correction here. That's why I took it from here. But if you take from it, we're already around the 61.8 retracement. I think it will continue higher. We can see the 55 and the 100 moving averages coming up there. Underlying bullish sentiment. EURSWISS. Here we are. No, we are not. It's not. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I don't know why there was a little bit. Okay, sideways here. As you can see, it's actually the weekly that is interesting here. As we can see, the EuroSwiss is still above the 92.10, 92. What it was the low there, 92.04. So just above that. That is the key. Should be able to bounce, but look at this. All moving average starts declining here, and the underlying trend is bearish. Negative sentiment on the RSI. Key will also be negative sentiment here on the RSI if it can close below 40. So that could push US Swiss lower. Dollar Swiss, little bit of a limbo, I would say. If it takes out the lows here from a few days ago at just below 81, then we have talked about it before. Then we are back to. We are already back in this area here from the 2015, but there's not really much stopping it until 77.80. But I don't think we'll push all the way down there, at least not short term. But we don't have any support levels until then, at least. The dollar Canada, sorry, the dollar index, babbling there. The dollar index. Also, more or less the same picture. Let's just resize this. If it takes out the lows at 98.81, then I think we'll see a push down to 97.5 area, 97.45. Other than that, if you should have seen a correction, but it's not that much at the moment. It seems like it's pushing lower. Gold pushing higher, and it has almost touched 3,300. What are we talking about? 3,297 and a bit. And I think it will actually break above 3,300. 161.8 projection has been reached within a few pennies, and I think it will push higher here. Could push higher towards 3,400. RSI has broken above its falling trend line. There is divergence, but it's indicating if it can stay above here that it will push higher and possibly also cancel this divergence here, indicating even higher levels. Silver now taking off from the 61.8 retracement. I think we could see a push up to 786 at 33 and a quarter. The copper future. Still struggling a little bit. It did close above the cloud, but still negative sentiment, so maybe a little bit of a setback here. But the 100 and the 200 still rising, and the 55 also rising, but kind of boxing it in here. So I think we could see a little bit of correction, sideways correction here. But if it takes out 470, then I think we will see a push up to 486 and possibly higher. Oil here, crude oil, WTI crude oil, sideways, sliding slowly lower, and I think it will actually push lower here. If it takes out 55, then we are down towards 50, 51.5 support. We are in a correction phase, so it could turn around. If it takes out the spike up there a couple of days ago, 63.35, then we are looking at 65.70 area. The Brent crude oil of course, more or less the same picture really. 66.07 is the resistance to take out for a move up to 69 area. If it takes out 62, well, then we could see another push lower towards 54.5. The European gas here, European nat gas or Dutch TTF gas is in a correction phase that could take it up to 36.77, but we are in a bearish trend with potential down to around 30 euros. And US nat gas still sliding lower, and I think we could see it down to around $3. I'm not quite sure it will take out $3, maybe spiking a little bit below before a bounce. Treasury yields and the US 10-year Treasury yields that failed to close above the cloud here. However, I think yes it did, the RSI did close above 60 threshold, so I think this is just a temporary setback. Could dip below the cloud to 38.2 at 427, maybe even lower to around 419, 420, where we have the 200 moving average before next push higher, I'm afraid. So if it does close above the cloud, then we could see a push higher, and especially if it takes out 455, then we have established a bullish trend. So that's the question of wait and see. The two-year still range bound here between 380 and up to 395, so not much to say about that, still in a correction phase. And the European yields, we have the Euro 10-year key support here at 247. If it takes out that, well, then we are looking at 237, 234 area. To establish a bullish trend, 272 needs to be taken out. The UK 10-year sliding lower this morning here. I think we'll see a test at least of the 61.8 retracement at 454, but could be caught range bound in the current range. On to crypto and Bitcoin, it failed to get back above the 55 moving out. You can see it's really a resistance here, so could slide lower. If it takes out the peak from yesterday at 86,492, then we are in for push-ups towards 88, 89, maybe even 90,000, but there's resistance here at 88,800. But for now, still a little bit depressed. The Ethereum still struggling with the falling trend line, so that's key to watch out for. And also the 1755 resistance. All right, that's all for today. Let's see what the market moves, and if I can do an update to tomorrow. It is a bank holiday tomorrow in Denmark, and I have some engagements, but let's see if I can do an update depending on where the market is moving. Otherwise, have a very nice Easter for all of you.